guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and tonight was Monday Night Raw. First night's Monday Night Raw does go. It was a go-home show for this Saturday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Remember, Saturday is Money in the Bank. Then Sunday is Heat Wave with NXT. So we got two premium live events coming to us this weekend from the WWE, both the Money in the Bank show and, excuse me, and the Heat Wave show. So we'll be talking about all of that all week and getting you guys ready for all of that and whatnot. So it should be really, really fun. We had Raw tonight, which I wouldn't call Raw great because I got bored through parts of it, but I thought Raw was a good show and they did a lot of good to build up to the pay-per-view this Saturday. So as far as a go-home show goes, I think it did well. As a go-home show, and I just clicked the wrong button on my screen. As a go-home show, I think it did well. But as just an episode of Raw, it was okay. I would maybe vote I liked it. Like, if I'm voting with you guys, I would probably vote I liked it. But like I said, I did get bored at times with tonight's Raw. But we got Luke over here with us as well. Luke, what do you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw?
I mean, that was a good show. It had a strong opening, I'll say that. I thought the opening was strong.
Well, yeah, okay, we'll talk about it because I got some things.
But, like, it was good. I wouldn't say it was great. I thought it was just good. Like, it had a strong opening than the rest. I felt like it could have been better, in my opinion.
Right. But, overall, a productive episode of Raw. Now we know the lineups for both the men's and the women's Money in the Bank ladder matches. We'll talk about all that. Maybe give some slight predictions. We're not going to do... hold on. Let me look at the card for Money in the Bank. I think we may be able to do predictions tonight.
It's the full card.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm pulling it up right here.
Unless the only change I could see happening is if Jey Uso returns Friday and they do turn the 6-man tag into an 8-man tag.
Jay, you mean Jimmy?
Oh, Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. We got 5 matches so far. Excuse me. Yeah, we'll do predictions. We'll do predictions, and then if something gets added, something gets added. But after we talk about Raw, we'll do predictions as well. I was thinking about that. I'm like, do we get anything else added or no? I don't think so. I think this is what we're getting for what we're getting. But with that, I do want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a bunch of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also remember, excuse me, also remember, if you are watching on YouTube, you can help us out over there. You can help us out by subscribing to the channel. That way you know when we post new videos, like who was Shane McMahon hanging out with from AEW today? When we go live, like with this podcast, or when we post things to the community tab. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel in another way, you can become a channel member. Just hit that join button to become a channel member, even if it's just at the $1 tier. You can support us either here on YouTube or at patreon.com/PWU Unlimited. And remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PWU Unlimited at checkout and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting Hades 2. Maybe you're claiming the free game, Sunless Sky Souvenir Edition, or you're getting some of the new stuff for Fortnite. Use our code PWU Unlimited for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Also, this week on the 4th, Thursday, the new free game is The Falconeer. That's a fun game. I'm claiming that one for sure. Falconeer is fun. I have played it. I don't own it, and I want to play more of it. So I will be getting that and maybe even streaming it. We'll see. But with that, as far as tonight's Monday Night Raw does go, the show itself kicked off with main event Jey Uso. So Jey Uso was in the concourse with the fans. He then said, "Hit my music," and he walked down the aisleway through the crowd. So that's just his new thing. He's the Shield. He's John Moxley coming through the crowd now. That's just his thing. Because what has he been doing this for? Like, has it been longer than a month where he comes out through the crowd? Or here's my other question: does he come out through the crowd for matches too, or is it just segments like this? Like, I can't remember.
I think it's for matches as well.
Okay, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. It's like, I know we've seen him leave through the crowd. We've seen him come in through the crowd for stuff like this. Because remember when they did the Sami Zayn one where he walked out through the crowd, went to the front of the building, Sami was there, and then they followed Sami back through. So, but Jey Uso came down, showed some love to the crowd, and then also showed some love to Michael Cole and Corey Graves. No Pat McAfee on the call tonight. They said Pat McAfee will be back next week. Michael Cole looked like a dork. This man over here, like, trying to be Pat McAfee because there's no Pat. So he's like playing up with Jay. Yo, 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 yo. And I'm like, whoa, calm down, Cole. You're a little too old for all of that. So Jay welcomed us to Monday Night Raw and said this week, or this weekend, he's going to win Money in the Bank. Yeet. He talked for another moment or so, not long at all, before, well, he was interrupted by Chad Gable. Chad Gable, without the scar on his head anymore, came out and informed Boston that they're idiots and that yeet was not a real word. He said miracle was a real word, and if you look it up in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of him right next to it. He said he recovered from an attack by the Wyatts. His family left him, and then he beat two monsters to qualify for Money in the Bank. He said he planned on becoming Master in the Bank. He said, when I win, I will be the Master in the Bank. Crowd booed and told him that he sucked. Jay then wondered what Gable was doing there after he was taken out by the Wyatts. Gable said that Jay was one. Gable said Jay was the one who took the Fireflies away from their family and then turned his back on his own family. Jay said that he got out from manipulative scumbags, and that's what Gable is as well. Gable decked Jay, and Jay fought him off and dropped him with a super kick. Jay was about to hit an Uso splash, and Gable bailed out of the ring. So, the cameras focused on Gable. The lights dimmed. A single piano key hits. Ding, 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 signaling for the Wyatt 6. The crowd starts chanting, holy shit. Gable left through the crowd. Saw Wyatt shadows all along. All five members in dark areas with lights behind them. Gable eventually did find his way out and was able to escape. Camera then cut to Nikki Cross at the announce table, handing a package to Michael Cole, which was another VHS tape. And then also Corey Graves, what I didn't write it down, but he made fun of the Wyatt 6, basically. He called them, like, what did he call them? The Wyatt psychopath? No. Oh man, that's gonna bug me.
I can't remember what he called them, honestly.
But you know what I'm talking about, though, because he made like a joke. He like joked about them, where it's like, oh well, Corey Graves ain't scared of them. Oh, what did he call them? It wasn't idiots, the Wyatt idiots. It's not what he said. I'll have to think about it. But what did you think of this segment and the very anticlimactic Wyatt moment? Because I'm going to read a tweet here first from one WrestleVotes. WrestleVotes tweeted before Raw. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say. But WrestleVotes tweeted before Raw. Let me pull this tweet up really fast. Which kind of got my hopes up, but they tweeted, if you are looking for the Wyatt 6, don't be late tonight. I'm told opening segment could be a strong one. Now, the stuff between Chad and Jay wasn't bad, but this tweet makes you think something big is going to happen with the Wyatts. And nothing really happened with the Wyatts. What do you think of all this?
I mean, no, like when the whole like show opened up with like Jey Uso with the Fireflies, I was like, holy crap, they're gonna attack Jey.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what I thought. Like, I was so convinced they were gonna come out and attack Jey, but that wasn't the case at all. It was just them just to scare off Chad, and they just gave Michael Cole another VHS.
Yeah, no, this was very anticlimactic. And I felt like that first segment we got 2 weeks ago with the Wyatts and the massacre backstage, oh, that was awesome. But ever since, very lackluster. The follow-up has been very lackluster. Go for it. You were about to say something, sorry.
Like, shoot, forgot what I was gonna say, actually.
My bad.
No, you're good. I didn't think what I'm about to say, actually.
But yeah, like I said, I've been a little, I wouldn't say, I don't know about disappointed, but I just feel like what they're doing with the Wyatts now is a little meh. I get it. They want us to learn why they're what they are with these Bo Dallas segments, but I don't know.
I think right now they're trying to like spread it out because they probably don't want to rush anything too soon.
Right.
Because you also got to think like whoever they're gonna feud with, you know, they obviously have to win. They have to like look really strong.
Exactly.
Because with the Fiend, like remember when the Fiend first feud with Finn Balor,
Snapped
Finn
his
got
neck.
crushed. No, Finn got crushed.
He snapped Finn's neck. Remember when he like grabbed it and he twisted it or whatever?
I don't remember that.
Hold on. See if I can find this. The Fiend snaps Finn Balor. Unless I'm thinking wrong. Yeah, I got it right here. I got an 8-second clip right here. Let's pull this up on the screen. Probably get demonetized, but oh well. It was during their SummerSlam match.
Well, if you put it on mute, you'll be fine.
Not always. Trust me. Not always. Why won't it let me full screen? Come on, full screen. That's weird. All right, let's play it like this. There it goes. So this was during their SummerSlam match. He grabbed Finn, got him, snapped his neck. Supposedly snapped his neck. Then Finn was fine. But regardless of all that, yeah, you're right. They got to be like extra strong. And it's going to be weird to see how they're booked.
I think their first rivalry should be Finn. No, not Finn. Jey Uso.
That's what a lot of people are thinking. Yeah.
No, the reason why I say Jey, they can just like destroy Jey off Raw. They can like scare him off Raw, put him SmackDown, and that's where you can like put him back with the Bloodline.
Maybe. Not a bad idea.
Because how else are you gonna put Jey back with the Bloodline if they're gonna do the whole like OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline?
Exactly.
Have him feud with the White Six. He gets scared off. They like boot him off Raw, send him to SmackDown.
Not a bad idea. Also, I think it was when the Wyatts came out and they were chanting "Holy shit," they were bleeping it.
Yeah.
They did it later in the show too, where they bleeped "Holy shit" chants.
Yeah, what was up with last Friday? Why does everything keep getting bleeped out and like turned black screen?
Fox, I don't know if Fox has gotten in trouble, but Fox is becoming more strict on swear words and obscene signs, like signs about people dying or signs with cuss words on it. And then apparently, like last week, there were people flipping off the camera or something in the aisle. I don't know exactly what it was, but there were things that Fox deemed not up to the FCC standards that could get them in trouble, maybe. I don't know. But Fox is going harder on censorship. So that's what that all was. Where there was a good half an hour of that show where big chunks of it were just either muted or blacked out.
Yeah, because I was watching that live and I was like, What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, very weird. We do have a super chat from Falcon Fighter. He says, when do you think Roman returns? It's a good question. It's tough because I would have thought Roman would have been back. I honestly thought Roman could have returned at Madison Square Garden. I thought that would have been a great place for Roman to return. But then you got all the people that are like, no, he's not going to do that then because his father just passed away and he's not going to show up, whatever. Okay, cool. I think Roman either returns at or the SmackDown right after SummerSlam. Because remember, the plan right now is for Solo to fight Cody. So if Solo faces Cody for the title at SummerSlam and loses, that's the perfect time, either then or the next SmackDown, for Roman to come back and go, oh, you think you head of the table? You can't beat Cody? So, what do you think?
I would say SmackDown, but I feel like that'd be too small of a venue for him to return.
Not necessarily. I mean, it's the follow-up, the SmackDown right after.
I mean, the SmackDown right after would be like, I mean, it would be perfect SmackDown after SummerSlam, so it could be like, you really thought you were the head of the table.
Where is that SmackDown going to be? Let's see. Do we know yet? Also on WWE's website for Royal Rumble, all it has is, hey, sign up here and we'll tell you when tickets go on sale. We'll send you an email about it. So yeah, no tickets on sale. SummerSlam, the SmackDown. Okay. I think I do need to go to that SmackDown. Then it's the SmackDown here in Tulsa.
You probably should go to that SmackDown.
Okay,
then.
Depending on what happens at SummerSlam, I might be at that SmackDown right after SummerSlam.
I think you should go regardless.
Yeah, we'll see. It just all depends
on.
Either way,
Roman's probably going to be at that show.
Good chance, but again, I got to play it off with the kids and their schedule because I think they either start school that week or the following week. I'm not sure. So I got to play by ear with that too.
It's a Friday though.
Yeah, but then who's if I got to go? I don't know what time they get out of school. My son's gonna have football and stuff, so I don't know what his practice schedule is gonna be like. Who can pick him up from school if I'm gonna be going to the show and this and that? I got to figure it all out schedule wise with the kids. But there's a good chance I'll be at that SmackDown. Now knowing it's the SmackDown after SummerSlam. Oh yeah.
Yeah, those like Raws and SmackDowns after like those big premium live events are always a good one.
Yeah, most of the time. So, because you were asking me that earlier, you're like, you gonna go, and I'm like, I don't know. Now I think I might have to.
I think you should go to the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis.
Yeah, but then I gotta fly and I gotta do all this stuff, and I just paid way too much money to move.
You can drive to that.
Drive to that? How far is Indianapolis from middle of Oklahoma? Let me see. Indianapolis. Map it. I think I looked it up. It's almost 20 hours.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh, it's almost 10 hours.
Not horrible then.
No. Because I drove 6.5 to get to the first Double or Nothing in Vegas. And I did that twice within a month. Because we went to the NASCAR race right before in Vegas as well. Like less than a month before that Double or Nothing. Well, about a month before the Double or Nothing. Yeah. So it's 9.5 hours from my house to Indianapolis. I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, I might go. We can do a mini vlog.
Right? Oh no, if we go, content will be made.
Yeah.
But speaking of content, we got content to talk about from Raw tonight, as the first match was Xavier Woods versus Karrion Kross. Match went 7.5 minutes. Kross offered a handshake early on, but Woods ignored it and started off with some chops. Woods hit a dive, but Kross slammed him into the ring post, which led to a break about 2 minutes into the match. Woods fought back after a break, but distraction got him from the Final Testament, and then Kross knocked him down with a forearm. Kross then took way too long to capitalize. Woods caught him in a small package, bing, bang, boom. Woods picks up the victory. Usually I'm not a fan of the small package flash pin out of nowhere, but when it's Xavier Woods and that's his shtick, it works for me. This match wasn't much of anything, and half of it was during the break, but cool. Now is this over? That's my question to you. Is this storyline over of Karrion Kross, you can be so much better if you leave Kofi? What? Okay.
Hang on, a sign in the crowd caught my attention during this match. I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
But
Hopefully
really
this
didn't want
storyline's done, because it's gonna been a I have no clue what this even is storyline anyways.
I mean, I really didn't want Karrion Kross to lose. But I am kind of tired of the storyline as well. But
Oh, nice.
Oh, well.
There's a thank you, Dijak sign in the crowd. That's cool.
I'm sure WWE probably bleeped it later.
Nah, probably not.
I honestly think Karrion Kross should go back down to NXT for a little bit.
The whole Final Testament should go down there, and they would be amazing down there. They've teased it once.
But it didn't happen.
Nope.
So now it's like, what the heck are you gonna do with Karrion Kross now on the main roster?
Yeah, I don't know, but I say the whole I hope this storyline's over, but then there was a post-match beatdown. AOP attacked the New Day from behind as they were celebrating. New Day fought back, but Cross leveled Kingston with the forearm, and AOP drove Woods into the barricade. Cross targeted Kingston's arm and placed him in a submission long enough that the announcers speculated on the damage to the armor of Kofi. Woods then checked on Kofi and stared down Cross. So it's like, I hope this is over, but then you get that beatdown and the possible Kofi injury angle, and now you think, oh crap, it's still going. It's still going. I don't know. I'm not a fan. So we go back. Go over it?
I don't know.
So we go backstage. And Damian Priest asked Dominic Mysterio if everything was good with Rhea Ripley. As usual, Dom said, yeah, we're fine. All good. All good. However, this time, Priest let Dom know that he actually spoke to Rhea. She's pissed off. This woman just got married and she's mad at Dom. She go worry about her husband. So Dom said that he would handle the Liv Morgan situation, but Priest didn't believe him. Dom said this situation wasn't his fault. Under his breath, Dom then said that Priest was just like his dad. Priest said, excuse me, repeat that? What'd you say? And Dom was like, oh, nothing. I'm good. So they enter in to find Liv Morgan hanging out with the rest of the group, and they're playing video games and whatnot. Morgan then left, wished Dom good luck on his match later, and then Finn pulled Priest aside. And did you catch the little subtle thing here with Finn? He was not wearing a Judgment Day shirt. He's always wearing a Judgment Day shirt. But while he's trying to tell Damian how Liv can be an asset to them, he was not wearing a Judgment Day shirt, which is interesting. He was trying to tell them that you said that we need you more than you need us. What is that supposed to mean? And Priest goes, think about it. I'm the world champion. When Rhea was the world champion, we needed her more than she needed us. Now you're a tag team champion, so we all need each other. We all help each other because we're all champions. And Balor kind of was like, okay, whatever about that. And then Balor was a little bit offended because he's like, oh, people think I'm not more than your sidekick. And Priest's like, no, you're not my sidekick. Priest said that they're brothers. They're all champions. And he's always going to tell Finn the truth and what he feels. Balor then told Priest that he's changed since winning the championship, and then Finn left. That's an interesting thing there. Finn not wearing a Judgment Day shirt, and then telling him there, you've changed since winning that title. What do you think of this segment?
I thought it was effective.
Yes.
I really did.
Same.
Do you know what I think is going to happen on Saturday? So
Punk screws Drew out of Money in the Bank?
I mean, I'll get to that, but but let's say like Damian's about to get the win, and then Finn comes out and screws Damian, beats Damian, Then Finn's like, then on that next Monday, Finn's like, you know what? That's the rules. You're out Judgment Day.
Interesting.
And then like Dominic sides with Damien's like he's not leaving. Like he was actually loyal. You tried to like bring Liv here and replace Rhea. And then maybe that's when like Rhea returns and they do like a big mixed 6-man tag.
So I don't know if Rhea is cleared yet, but there was a report last week by Fightful that stated that even if she's not cleared to compete, WWE would like to get her back on programming. They'd like to bring her back in. Even if she can't compete yet, they want her back on TV. I don't know how long she's got, till she's going to be cleared, what kind of time off she now has with getting married. So we'll see how that all plays out. But yeah, her and Buddy went back to Australia last week to get married.
Maybe they'll probably have their honeymoon here pretty soon.
Yeah. We got a nice video tribute to Sika Anawati. We saw this on SmackDown as well. Great video telling us about, the history of him and his brother Afa, the Wild Samoans, and then his impact on the business and his kids and whatnot. Now in wrestling, his son was, his older son in wrestling was Rosie, Matt Anawati, and now his current wrestling son, Joe Anawati, Roman Reigns. Talked about that for a moment in this. Great video package to pay tribute to Sika. So Zelina Vega was backstage with Kathy Kelly in gorilla position before her upcoming title match. She said that she would show Liv Morgan why she's a champion and what a real champion looks like. And I go, you've only won tag titles. And I guess Queen of the Ring. What kind of champion are you? You haven't won anything big in forever. So, I don't know. What she talk about? She was also tag team champions in TNA. Anywho. They then showed a clip of Liv Morgan throwing out the first pitch at Fenway Park ahead of the Boston Red Sox San Diego Padres game, which they couldn't have done that any better. Her over there supporting the Red Sox against Dominic's San Diego Padres. Like, how perfect was that? I don't know if they, set that up on purpose like that, but they're in Boston tonight, so she was in Boston early over the weekend to throw the first pitch, and it all just played out to fit the storyline. Very coincidental. But speaking of Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega, they had an 11.5-minute match, and they go about 90 seconds before Dominic comes out. The crowd's dead, but then Dom comes out, and the crowd starts to stir because, crowds they get interested in what Dom does. There's a reason Dom's one of my favorite right now. I'll say it right now. Dom's in my top 5. What did Booker T used to say back in the day? My fave 5. I'd say Dom's in my fave 5. Every time Dom's on the screen, I'm always like, oh, I need to see what this is. Oh, this is going to be interesting. The Dominic Mysterio stuff is interesting, and I think he plays his character very well. Not the greatest wrestler or anything in the ring, but I think from a character standpoint and the way he plays off of the crowd and all that, what did you say? How do you say it? I'm a Dominic Mysterio mark. I'll mark out for Dom. So Dom comes out, and before he can do anything, though, old Daddy Ray Ray makes his way out as well, and we go to commercial break. Come back, and Liv Morgan did the Three Amigos, and then did a little Eddie Guerrero shimmy, better than the Eddie Guerrero shimmy Mercedes Moné tried to do last night. She then applied Ripley's standing clover leaf, but Vega fought out and hit a moonsault for a 2. Vega tried a code red, but Morgan blocked and dropped her down for a 2. The crowd then starts they don't care about this match. And they just start chanting, shave your mustache at Dominic. Again, this crowd did not care about this match. Then the two are on the top rope, and Zelina has her set up for a code red. And I love Zelina. She's like up on the top rope. She looks down and goes, like you see her face go, oh, we're higher than I thought. And then she just looks out into the crowd and goes, screw it, and does the code red off the middle rope. But Liv rolled through it and rolled out of the ring, so Zelina could not make the cover. Dom and Ray then argued, so Ray shoved his son straight down to the mat. Morgan knocked down Ray with the baseball slide, but Vega followed this up with a 619 and a tornado DDT for a near fall. Dom slid a chair into the ring towards Vega, but she tossed it out right into his face, actually. Morgan then used the distraction to hit the Oblivion and pin Zelina to pick up the victory. Remember, Dom said, I want to help Zelina because I want, the title off of Liv. And so he tried to help Zelina, but Zelina didn't want his help, and it backfired. Before we get to the slight post-match here, what do you think of the match itself?
I mean, pretty expected, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Like Zelina wasn't going to win.
No, not at all.
Like, I'm honestly trying to think who else is going to, challenge Liv.
That's a good question.
Because, I don't even know.
I'm looking at the Raw roster here. And Asuka's out with an injury. Becky is still listed on the active roster, even though she's not signed with the company. And she's still in the Raw commercial, too. That's an interesting one. And Triple H said on McAfee, I got Becky Lynch out right now on a hiatus. So did, excuse me. So are we to believe, God dang, are we to believe that maybe Becky secretly did sign and they just haven't told us and no one knows? Again, she's still on the active roster page, and Triple H didn't state that she's gone. He said she's on a slight hiatus. But looking at everything here, maybe EO. Maybe Lyra.
Lyra would be a good one.
Or they just wait for Rhea to come back to face her.
Honestly, I'd probably do Lyra.
Yeah, that would make sense. I could see it.
They should do first they should do Lyra versus EO as a number one contenders match. Lyra wins.
Well, also think about it. They're both in Money in the Bank, so one could win Money in the Bank. Does EO win 2 years in a row? I don't know.
I'll get to my prediction later, but
yeah,
I think it should be Lyra that challenges Liv.
That'd be nice. So after the match, Dom starts to walk off. Liv starts to go after him and leave with him. Kathy Kelly then walked out to interview Morgan on the stage, which allowed Dom to leave on his own. Morgan told Kelly that she was the luckiest girl in the world, and her revenge tour was going exactly how she planned it. She then dedicated her victory and all future victories to the most gorgeous man in WWE, Daddy Dominic. I have no clue what this is. We're supposed to think that she's trying to steal Rhea's man, but yet everybody knows he's not Rhea's man. Rhea's got herself a husband. Dom's got himself a wife. What the? We just know that Dom and Rhea are really close, flirtatious friends. But it's not like they're a romantic couple. Everybody knows it. But what the crap is this?
I was about to say friends with benefits.
I don't know if we go that far. But we do the whole Rhea will push Dom up against a wall and kind of make him blush kind of thing. But I don't think she's touching the woohoo or anything like that. So, they then aired a slight preview of the WrestleMania 40 documentary that will finally come out this Wednesday. I think they actually showed us the first 2 minutes of the documentary. This then led to Seth Rollins coming out. Seth entered in the crowd, super into Seth. Confetti dropped for his entrance, and he called it a sign for next week that he would be a world champion, just like Boston and their Boston Celtics, 2024 NBA World Champions. Rollins says he has a secret for Boston. He wants to share it with them. Because, well, this is a championship city. They got the Bruins, the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Celtics. And when he said Celtics, they cheered loud.
My brother is a diehard Celtics fan, actually.
Nice. I'm mad that damn Lakers didn't get Klay Thompson. Goddamn guy going to Dallas.
Hey, I feel I'm a Heat fan.
Yeah, Thompson going to the Mavericks.
I think Thompson's kind of washed anyway.
I don't know. What do we get? We get
Like
6'1" Brawny James. Like, what the hell is he gonna do? He can shoot threes. Like he's got some good range, but I don't know.
2 more years of Lakers tragedy.
Oh, don't get me started.
JJ Redick is your new head coach.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. They did that, and I said, "What the hell? The Hail Mary. We're just trying anything and everything now."
Well, originally they tried to get UConn's head coach, but he decided to stay at UConn.
Which is probably smart. Probably smart for him.
He's probably making more money at UConn anyway.
I don't know. I heard JJ Redick's getting the bag. Or JJ Redick's getting paid.
Probably.
Where was I in my notes here? Rollins' secret was that he needed to win back the world championship. If he didn't win the title, he wouldn't get another shot as long as Priest is the champion. And Rollins would have to reevaluate who he really is. But Rollins was his best when he's got pressure against him. Rollins would also take Priest away from the Judgment Day if he wins the belt. It wasn't Rollins' intention to break up the Judgment Day, but he thought Priest could be the best version of himself without them. Before Rollins could finish, well, Finn, of all people, would come out. This shocked me a little bit. I'm like, oh, Finn, oh, okay. So Balor said that he should be in a good mood tonight after winning the tag team titles last week, but he really wasn't. He was in a bad mood because everything seems to be changing. Judgment Day was changing, Priest was changing, and it was all Seth's fault. Rollins called Priest a grown man who makes his own decisions. Rollins said Balor was mad because Priest got the world title and Balor couldn't. Rollins wanted to fight Balor, and Balor seemed into it, but then Priest would interrupt. Rollins thought this might be a trap. Balor was ready to pounce. But Priest looked at Balor and said, nobody's getting involved in any of this business. And Balor just stepped aside. Priest told Rollins that he was wrong when he said his days as champion were numbered. Rollins wanted to fight Priest now, and Priest said, okay. But then nothing really happened. Like, he seemed ready for it. And I thought they were going to go to blows, and then instead, Balor decked Rollins, and Priest pulled him off. And we've seen this before with Damian Priest. When they attack Jey Uso, and Priest is like, hey, don't do that. And he pulls him off. So Priest more babyface than these heel Judgment Day guys. Rollins then knocked them both down with super kicks. Rollins gave Balor a curb stomp, and Priest gave Rollins a choke slam. Priest then helped Balor to his feet. Very interesting segment. Does Balor screw Priest at Money in the Bank? What do you think?
I can see it. I mean, I honestly think at SummerSlam it should be Seth versus Gunther.
Be a great match.
Because I think it would benefit more.
Right.
Than just Priest versus Gunther. Like, no disrespect to Priest. I think Priest as world champion is actually pretty good.
So,
I mean, I wouldn't say great or anything.
Right. I think Gunther's winning no matter what. If Priest is the champion, it's more predictable. If Seth is the champion, it's still pretty predictable, but less predictable. Because it's like,
actually get.
Because my thing is, do you put the title on Seth just for him to drop it a month later? You know what I mean? Actually, yeah, about a month later.
It would actually make people think if Gunther's actually going to win or not.
Exactly.
Then, because if it was Priest, people are like, oh yeah, Gunther's winning. Gunther's winning.
Exactly, right. Because when is SummerSlam? Is August, so basically a month. Excuse me. They got a Ludwig Kaiser video. Then go back to the back, and Priest told Balor he needed to beat Rollins on his own at Money in the Bank. Balor kind of dismissed this and was like, "Yup," and then Priest left. They're all not on the same page, I guess. Again, I think Balor shows up during that title match.
Good chance. I think. Ooh. What if it was like? What if it was Finn and JD like that showed up? They screwed Damian over and attacked him. Then and Dominic shows up, tries to save him, and then Carlito's kind of in the middle, like what the heck do I do?
Because like if this was like 3 weeks ago, I would say Carlito would do whatever Dom does. But now Carlito's like cool with all of them for the most part. So I don't know what Carlito would do. I love Carlito the night when Carlito was just all like, hey, we're playing games. Look, he's all like, and Priest is like looking at him like, hey, chill out, bro. Carlito's just like the cool little, like, he's like the I'm happy to be here hanging out little brother.
I think Carlito's probably just gonna be like, I didn't ask for this drama, I'm out of here.
Right.
And then maybe he can just go do his own thing. Either that or I kind of want to see Carlito do something in NXT for a little bit.
Wouldn't be a bad idea.
I mean, I almost said Carlito versus Obafemi. I don't know if I want to see that match.
You said that last week.
What, Carlito versus Obafemi?
Yes.
Nah, I don't want to see that.
Also, Jonathan Kuda in the chat. Becky didn't trademark the name Rebecca Quinn. The name Rebecca Quinn, her real name, is not trademarked at all. I just looked it up.
You don't have to trademark your real name, do you?
It depends. You can. So that way, like, no one else can try to use it for stuff. Like, it's not easy to try to use someone's real name. But it's like, if there's a real Seth Rollins, not like Colby Lopez Seth Rollins, but if like someone else in the world was named Seth Rollins and then they made a Seth Rollins in WWE and then they get, you know what I mean? They can't get mad because they didn't have the name trademarked and it was just a random name WWE created. It's all like, yeah, it's a whole thing with real names and what you can and can't and this and that.
Oh, yeah, did you see that Jacob Fatu's original name was supposed to be Cesar Sokola?
Yep. That was a name they pondered around and trademarked too. Many thought it was going to be like a new name for Solo, but nope, that was almost the name of Jacob. So happy. But that's another one. Jacob Fatu, that's his real name, and they trademarked it. WWE trademarked his real name.
Yeah, I don't really see Jacob like leaving WWE.
No, well, not
in the near future anyway.
No, I bet you he signed a 3 to 5 year deal. Jacob Samuel Fatu here to stay. He got 7 kids he got to feed.
Right, like he's like, I'm honestly glad WWE brought him in because
oh yeah,
he's someone that he's gonna be a huge star for them.
Just wait till he breaks off from the bloodline. He gonna wreck shop. Future world champion. I'm gonna say it right now. Whether that's WWE or World Heavyweight, he's winning one of them big ones.
Right. So like, I'm surprised no other wrestling company outside like MLW like made an offer to him.
So I know New Japan never did because he had an issue, not anymore, but he had an issue working outside of the United States. That's why he never worked for New Japan, other than he did his first New Japan show this past February, I think it was, when they were in San Jose, California. But that's why he never worked for New Japan. But other than like, you know, TNA and AEW not using him, I have no clue why they never did. I thought he would have fit in perfectly in TNA.
Oh, yeah.
But MLW, well, it's because MLW had him under an exclusive, so no other like big company could have used him without their permission, I guess you would say, a working relationship. That was the other issue. He was not signed to MLW for quite a while.
I always thought he was too good for MLW.
There's a lot of people too good for MLW, just like the NWA. There's people there too good for the NWA as well.
Like who for the NWA? They're
like, well, she left, but Camille, Nick Aldis, they left.
Well, Nick Aldis, I mean, I know AEW wanted him when they first started, but then he said no
good.
because
Cody wanted him because they're so close and stuff.
Yeah, but then he turned down AEW because they wouldn't let him be NWA champion, so he signed exclusively with the NWA.
Yep. But like those two, I always thought were far and away better than anybody else in AEW. I mean, NWA. And then like I think so. They've signed Colby Lopez. I think he would do really well in NXT. Or not Colby Lopez. That's Seth Rollins' real name. Colby Carino. Colby Carino, I think, would do really well in NXT. Plus, his dad's one of the trainers and producers there. But I'm trying to think who else is in the NWA. They got JR Kratos. They've got, EC3, but it's like, meh. I think EC3 kind of passes prime. I'm going to be honest. No one really cares much about EC3 anymore. At one point, I probably would have said EC3 was too good for the NWA. But then he kind of just got in his own way, and I don't know.
Wait a minute, who's this Mads Kruger guy in the MLW? I've seen him a lot on the indies. That guy's been like tearing it up.
Oh, Mads Kruger?
Yeah.
Mads Kruger's great. I think he does acting stuff too. But him and Jacob Fatu had a what do they call it? Weapons of Mass Destruction match a couple years back. That was wild. It was like a 20-minute match.
No, because the first time I saw this guy was a DPW. He debuted for DPW, and everybody's like, "Oh, this guy's a monster."
Nice, because he was, if I'm thinking correctly, he was in the Dynasty group with MJF back in the day.
Like, are you actually thinking the same Mads Kruger I am, the guy with the mask,
The skull mask?
Yeah. Was this before he had the mask when he was with MJF?
Let me look it up. Hold on, I could be wrong. Let me see. No, he had the mask. He had the mask. He was like their enforcer guy. And then eventually feuded with Hammerstone and all that, and yeah.
That guy's gonna do some great things in MLW.
Right. And he's been there for a while. I want to say he's been there since 2019, maybe.
I never even knew that, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't really notice him till like last year.
So going back to Monday Night Raw, we had a triple threat match for the final spot in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Dakota Kai, Ivy Nile, and Zoe Stark. Nile was given the most in this match, and Stark picked up the win to qualify. But I felt like not much really happened in this match. It was a 8.5 minute match that was just there. Went to a break about a minute in. Then we got like a 3.5 minute break. Like half of this match almost was all during the break. But Nile dropped both opponents with a double bulldog off the top after the break. Nile then hit each opponent with separate German suplexes before dropping them both with German suplexes one at a time. Stark then hit Nile with a super kick and a tornado DDT. Kai gave Stark a chiropractor, but now broke up the cover. Kairi Sane then ran out to cause distraction, but Isla Dawn and Alba Fire would break it all up. Stark then used the distraction to give Dakota Kai the Z360 and pin her to pick up the victory and be the final woman in the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. So what do you think of Zoe being the final woman to qualify here?
I really thought it was going to be Dakota. I really did.
I did too.
Like, I don't know if you saw that clip or not. There was a clip from Dakota Kai's last Twitch stream
where she's asking, I just want an opportunity on a PLE.
She said, I just want an opportunity on a PLE as like a singles competitor.
Mm-hmm. I saw that. She almost started crying. And then she's like, I'm not crying. Yeah. It's my allergies.
I mean, like, you saw her stuff in NXT as a singles competitor, and it was great.
Thank you, Elite. Thank you, Elite Tish, for subscribing as a channel member. He says, they noticed how Dakota Kai trending one day. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, like that's where it made me believe that, it's going to be Dakota Kai.
Right.
Unless they change their mind saying, like,
well, also,
can't be doing that on your Twitch stream.
No, but I looked at who was in this match, and no offense to Ivy Nile or Zoe Stark, but I was just like, based off those three, it's got to be Dakota. And then it wasn't. They finally aired the Wyatt VHS tape. It was a continuation of the Bo Dallas conversation with Uncle Howdy from last week. Both spoke about false prophets bettling, belting their own family for their own gain, and said that they must pay. Dallas called himself the voice of the reckoning. The video ended with him disappearing, leaving Uncle Howdy as the sole lone figure. So are we to think that, Uncle Howdy has absorbed Bo and Bo is no more? I don't know. This stuff, I'm just going to let it play out before I predict too much and predict wrong. Because
I'm thinking it's two personalities, and they're both, and maybe like Bo's like talking to like a vision of like Uncle Howdy,
right.
and then maybe like Bo will eventually like transform into Uncle Howdy. I don't know.
So we got another super chat from Falcon Fighter. He says MLW still has Matt Riddle on their roster. Oh yeah, and they're smart to have Matt Riddle, a former WWE name, a former champion in WWE, a former MLW wrestler, connected to the brand, working for them. Perfect. Also, you see Matt Riddle's now making appearances at kids' birthday parties?
Yeah, I keep seeing videos of that. He's making appearances at like kids' birthday parties, and like he's wrestling at like state fairs now.
He's just doing anything and everything.
I always thought like after he lost like in that New Japan TV title, I was like, man, this guy really hasn't done anything.
Yeah, no. Like
I thought
his January was packed, and you go, oh, he's gonna be, yep, he's gonna be busy. Yeah, he's busy with little things.
I thought that interview that he admitted that he was like doing drugs in WWE. I thought that's what killed him.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. Well, we all knew it. He failed 2 drug tests.
Didn't he say he was doing cocaine while in WWE?
Yep.
I thought that's what really killed him. That's what probably made like a lot of those big companies scared of him.
That's why WWE made him go to rehab. So we go to the back, and Gable met with Otis in catering, but Otis didn't want anything of it. Gable worried that the Wyatt video was about him. He needed help and didn't know who else to go to. Gable admitted to calling Otis stupid and a disappointment and a blubbering idiot, and Gable knew Otis must hate him now. Otis said that, he didn't hate Gable, but this is your problem, not mine. Gable said that the Wyatts could go after Akira Tozawa or Maxine Dupree next, and he would be there for them if they needed him. Dupree then showed up and asked if everything was okay. Gable said yes, everything was great. He's trying to get back in, weasel his way back in with his family, I guess you would say. This then led to an 11-minute match. We got Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Match starts in about a minute and a half in. We go to a break. Come back, and Dom took control after the break, and the crowd again told him to shave the mustache. Rey then fought back and repeatedly shoved his son's face against the middle turnbuckle. Rey followed this up with a seated senton and a springboard crossbody. Morgan then ran down as Rey set up for something on the ropes. Dom then countered his move into a single leg crab, but Rey got to the ropes to break it all up. Dom tried the 3 Amigos, but Rey countered the last one. Rey set it for a 619, but Morgan pulled Dom out of the ring right in front of the referee, and he did nothing about it. Like, come on. Rey then dropkicked Dom, who fell on top of Liv. Morgan was kind of delighted that old daddy Dominic was on top of her and kind of wouldn't let him get up. Rey then tossed Dom into the ring and told Morgan to leave. Dom used this distraction to hit a vertical suplex and get a 2 off of it. Zelina Vega would then run down and attack Liv Morgan. Dom then dropped Rey and hit a 619. Dom went to the top, but the brawl with Vega and Morgan actually resulted in Dom distracting himself and then getting crotched by Liv Morgan, actually. Again, the referee just kind of watched all this happen. Rey then dropped Dom with a 619, springboard splash, and the pinfall to pick up the victory. So, once again, Rey beats Dom. What'd you think of all this? It wasn't bad, but too much of the outside interference and distraction stuff.
Yeah, I feel like this match they kind of focused too much on the outside interference.
Yeah, because Morgan then is apologizing afterwards. She's like, I'll fix it. She didn't want him mad at her, and he just kind of tried to leave again. Bitch, he wants nothing to do with you.
My biggest question now, what the heck are they going to do with the LWO now?
I don't know, because it's like Cruz del Toro's been hurt for some time. Joaquin Wild's like gone. He just kind of disappeared. Dragon Lee's here and there. I have no clue.
I feel really bad for what they're doing with Dragon Lee.
Yeah.
Like, I thought Dragon Lee was gonna be like this huge star on the main roster, because like, especially like how, well, like when they first signed Dragon Lee, they made a really big deal out of it.
Yes. Big deal.
Now,
Like
but now
ESPN
it's like,
announced it and everything.
but now it's like now that he's been on the main roster, he's mainly just been a guy in the LWO, and I was just really upset that he joined the LWO.
So was I. Kind of like when I was like, oh, please don't put Andrade in this as well. Let him do his own thing.
Which they didn't. They just made that thing teaming with Ray just a one-time thing.
Hey, he's a speed champion now, so he's doing something.
Hey, have him win Money in the Bank. Who knows?
He is in that match. Would be interesting. There was a Sheamus video package hyping up tonight's match, and he focused a lot on his past with Drew McIntyre. They also showed clips of Shinsuke Nakamura with, and I'm going to butcher this name, Rei Suryura, who competed at UFC 300. Shinsuke was actually in his corner and helped train him for the fight. So that's really, really cool. They actually also asked Shinsuke, if you watch the broadcast and some of the clips posted from it, they asked Shinsuke if he'd ever think about getting back into MMA, and he kind of like just brushed it off like, nah, I don't know about that. But really cool to see Shinsuke. And this wasn't a WWE, UFC, TKO thing. It was more of a, this man is trained in MMA. He helped this guy with his fight camp, and he cornered him at the pay-per-view. UFC 303. So we got a Sami Zayn Bron Breakker segment. This was good. I liked this. Zayn spoke about his upcoming title defense in Toronto against Bron Breakker. Zayn says that he wasn't stupid and knew people thought Bron was just going to run right through him and win the belt. Zayn understood and wanted to make something very clear. Quote, I am going to beat Bron Breakker at Money in the Bank. This led to, well, Bron Breakker coming out. Bron said that Zayn earned a little bit of his respect last week. Everybody else in the back was afraid, but Zayn offered him a title shot. Bron said that Zayn has guts, but he also has no idea what he is in for. Bron said respect was out the window on Saturday. Bron would break him, decimate him, and become the new Intercontinental Champion. Zayn told Bron that he's heard that before. He's been beaten down and broken, but then he gets back up, puts himself back together, and every single time comes out the winner. Proof was in his hands, and he looks down at the IC title. Said if he had to tell Bron who he was, maybe Bron hadn't done his homework. Maybe Bron wasn't as good as he thinks he is. Zayn told Bron that he'd see him on Saturday. Bron was about to leave and then turned around and speared Sami. Bron's music hit, and he left the ring. Then he kind of stopped and saw Sami getting his wits about him at ringside. So he did the whole thing where he runs around the ring and tries to spear Sami, but Sami jumped over him, and Bron Breakker went into the shoulder first into the ring steps. Zayn hammered away at Bron and hit him with an exploder in the ring. Zayn then was going to go for a haluva kick, but Bron popped up and hit him with a nice, big, huge spear in the middle of the ring, and then stood over Sami with the Intercontinental Championship high above his head. This was good. I really enjoyed this. What'd you think?
I think Bron Breakker is going to win the IC title.
100%.
He should.
Yes.
He honestly should. Like, Sami doesn't need to hold the belt any longer, in my opinion.
Nah. So Kathy Kelly interviewed Damage Control about Money in the Bank. Kai said that they were still focused on Io winning. Kai said that Kai was also sick of everyone getting involved in their business. Lyra Valkyria then barged in and told Kai that she couldn't climb the ladder for Sky. Lyra said that she would win the briefcase. Yet, you remember the first woman's Money in the Bank ladder match? Oh, goddamn. Oh, what was his name?
James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth. Helping out Carmella.
I was at that Money in the Bank.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can't climb it for her. You obviously don't know your history, Lyra. Go for it.
So when I went to that show, my grandpa went with me, and during that whole show, he kept saying out loud, "Man, this stuff's fake." And I was like, "Hey, just like keep your voice down a little bit."
That's funny. So then,
Yeah, I remember watching that. Like, sorry for cutting you off.
no,
but,
go for it, because I was going to talk about the
I
rest of the
remember
segment.
watching that women's Money in the Bank match. I was just like, "What the heck?" This, I like everyone at that show was pissed off the way that women's match ended.
So that whole thing was weird because they were like, well, James Ellsworth's really the one that grabbed the briefcase, so the match doesn't count. We're going to redo it on SmackDown. And then Carmella just won again anyways. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And then Baron Corbin won, then later on failed cash in.
Yep. So it's kind of weird what they're doing with Damage Control, because it's like they're kind of feuding with Lyra and Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, but then they've also like pissed off the tag team champions and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, who came out earlier in Dakota's match. But then here, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter helped Lyra, and they all fought with Damage Control, and there was a big brawl, and yeah. So Damage Control just pissing everybody off, I guess. They recapped the Bloodline angle from SmackDown. The live crowd chanted for Roman. The announcers ran down Saturday's Money in the Bank card. There was then a video of Ilya Dragunov hyping up his match later on tonight. He said that he's going to win Money in the Bank, quote, or die trying. Also, a few things were announced for next week's Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso versus Chad Gable. Plus a 6-woman tag team match. It's Lyra Valkyria, Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter against Damage Control. This then led us to our 16-minute, 15-second main event triple threat match for the final spot in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Ilya Dragunov, Sheamus, and Drew McIntyre. McIntyre faced off with Sheamus and dismissively shoved Dragunov aside, so Dragunov booted McIntyre right from the ring. Sheamus then hit McIntyre with a 10 beats to the Bowdrin from behind. Behind the barricade, that is. I wrote that weird. A sweaty Sheamus then embraced some of the fans ahead of a commercial break. Come back, all three men were down shortly following the break, and it was Dragunov who knocked down his opponents when they all rose up. Dragunov then hit Sheamus with an H-bomb off the apron. He hit McIntyre with a flying senton and an H-bomb for a 2. Sheamus drove Dragunov into the barricade ahead of another commercial break. They then did a Tower of Doom spot soon as they came back from the break, which saw Dragunov bring down both men. Crowd chanted, "Holy shit." And this is where they were also bleeping the holy. So they were bleeping it there too. And then they also got a "This is awesome" chant as Dragunov got a 2 count. McIntyre then headbutted Dragunov and went for a Claymore, but Dragunov cut him off, turned into a Moscow. McIntyre rolled out of the ring before Dragunov could go for the cover. Dragunov then went for a coast-to-coast drop kick, but Sheamus caught him in the middle, right in midair, with a knee strike. He tried to use that like top-down view, but I don't think it really worked as well this time. So, where was I? Sheamus to follow this up with the Brogue Kick, but McIntyre pulled Dragunov out of the ring to break up the pin. McIntyre then chucked Dragunov into the Timekeeper's area, and that was, I think, the last we saw of Ilya. Sheamus and McIntyre then traded blows until Sheamus hit a power slam. McIntyre dodged a Brogue Kick and applied a schoolboy for a 2. Sheamus then hit a knee strike, but McIntyre came right back with the Claymore and pinned him to pick up the victory. What did you think of the match itself and Drew getting the final spot in Money in the Bank?
I thought the match was great.
Yeah.
I mean, completely honest. Like, I kind of knew Sheamus wasn't going to win it because they kind of gave that away with that Ludwig Kaiser package. But I thought Drew winning and being in the match could like set up more for like him versus CM Punk, because maybe they could go the route of Punk screws him over in the match and then
hold on.
Recreate.
Let me talk about this post-match first, because I might know where you're going. Let me talk about the post-match real fast first. So Kathy Kelly interviews Drew McIntyre in the ring, and McIntyre grabs the mic and says, quote, "I told you I was going to win this war, and that's exactly what I did. You ready for some more truth? I'm walking into Money in the Bank this Saturday, and I'm leaving Toronto with the World Heavyweight Championship. So what Drew is saying that he's going to win Money in the Bank and cash it in the same night. Now, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, remember in 2015 ladder match where Roman was about to get the briefcase, but then Bray Wyatt screwed him over?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sheamus went ahead and got the briefcase?
Don't ever forget, that also happened with Ali and Brock Lesnar.
What if they did that same thing? Like, Drew was about to get the briefcase. Punk, like, pushes him off the ladder and screws him over. And then someone like a Jey Uso or like Carmelo Hayes got the briefcase.
Or, and I know we're getting into like prediction stuff here. We're going to do predictions in a second. But what if Drew wins Money in the Bank? No CM Punk. He then goes to cash in later, and Punk turns it in and like screws him with a failed cash in. And then Punk can be like, well, that's something that I'm better than you at. You couldn't cash in once. I cashed in twice.
That would be good, but I don't know. I feel like it might be like too soon for like another like failed cash in for the men's, at least.
When was the last fail?
Austin Theory.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, did he fail?
Yeah, he failed. He cashed in against Bobby Lashley for the United States belt.
Oh,
because
yeah,
he
you're
was
right.
Too scared.
You're right.
Because he was too scared to cash in on Roman.
Because for some reason, all I can remember is him trying to cash in during that SummerSlam in Nashville.
I was there for that as well.
Yep. Goddamn.
Because the reason, I think the reason why
Farmer Brock and his tractor lifting up the ring.
Dude, that was nuts. Like I remember like trying to walk closer to like the ring because everyone like who sat on the floor was like trying to walk closer to see what was going on, and all we see was Brock flipping the ring. We're like, what in the world?
It's funny.
But yeah, the whole thing with Theory cashing on Bobby, I think the whole reasoning for that was because they went the whole route of Theory was too scared to cash in on Roman now.
Give me 1 second. You might be. K Vicious says it was Seth Rollins, not Bobby Lashley.
Oh, he cashed in on.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. Austin Theory, no. I don't see anything. Austin Theory failed cash.
Oh, never mind. It was on Seth Rollins actually.
It was, where was it? I just had it and now I lost it. Yeah, he went to cash in on Seth.
And then like Bobby would beat him up.
Yeah, Bobby basically caused the fail. Yeah, because I'm watching it right here. 1, 2, Bobby pulls the ref out of the ring. That's what it was. And then Bobby beats up Austin Theory. Yep. So you were like half right, thinking Bobby Lashley was involved, and he was. But with that, let me get the poll here for Twitch. What did you think? Raw liked it. Was all right. I didn't like it. All right, so we're gonna let that poll go. And we're gonna talk predictions for this Saturday's WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Coming up this Saturday from Toronto, Canada's WWE Money in the Bank. 5 matches have so far been announced for the show. 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches and 2 title matches and a 6-man tag. We're going to break it all down, give you our predictions, and tell you what we think will be happening in Toronto. First off, we do know in a 6-man tag team match, it is the WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes teaming up with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens against the Bloodlines, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and I believe Jacob Fatu, not Tonga Loa. Who do you got winning this one? The baby faces or the heels?
I got the Bloodline winning, And I think Solo pins Cody. That sets up Solo versus Cody at SummerSlam.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Solo pins Cody to win this match. So as we move, go for it.
But also, they could do the baby faces and have Jey Uso return.
I don't know. I don't think
Well,
he
the
returns.
rumor is
I don't think he returns till Roman returns.
Yeah, but the rumor is Jimmy could return soon, though.
Right. Because it's all storyline injury. He's not really like out injured or anything.
I thought the rumor was he was out injured because he had like an undisclosed injury.
Oh, you are right. Now that I think about it. Yeah.
It was an undisclosed injury. They didn't say what the injury was, but he was going to be out for it.
I think you might be right, actually. I'm looking it up. But what were you going to say?
That was it, actually.
Jey Uso rehabbing an undisclosed injury while off of television. You're right.
But I do think the Bloodline wins, though, overall.
So do I. So moving forward with the Intercontinental Championship on the line, it is Sami Zayn defending against Bron Breakker. And it's got to be Bron Breakker. Bron Breakker needs this belt. Like, he doesn't need the belt, but Bron Breakker should be a champion. And Bron Breakker should be winning the Intercontinental Championship. What do you got?
I think Bron Breakker has to win. Keep his momentum high.
Yep.
As like this big, like dominant heel. So you gotta have Bron Breakker.
Moving forward with the World Heavyweight Championship on the line and a couple other steps as well. So it's Seth Rollins challenging Damian Priest. Damian Priest defending against Seth. If Priest wins, Rollins can never challenge for the belt as long as Priest is the champion. But if Rollins wins, he gets the title and Priest must leave Judgment Day. As far as who do you got winning this one? I'll let you go first.
This is a tough one. This really is.
Yeah.
Because the reason why it's so tough to me is because the whole stipulation of if you lose, you leave Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes it tough. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to go Seth Rollins winning.
Oh, really? I'm saying Damian Priest.
I mean,
I'm going Priest.
you know, I'll go Seth Rollins. I'm not going to switch it.
Stick with your gut. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I'm sticking with my gut.
Stick with your gut.
Wait, who won the predictions for? Did we do predictions for Forbidden Door?
I can tell you right now. Yes, we did.
Because who won?
Give me 2 seconds. I got it written down right here in my handy dandy notebook. It would be boom, boom, and boom, boom. Me, not you. Doing the math here. Storm, Jack Perry, Swerve. I beat you by 1. I said Zack Sabre Jr. You said Orange Cassidy. That's the one. That's the one that I beat you on.
I know you had the Acclaimed and Tanahashi winning. I beat you on that one.
You said the Acclaimed. I had the Elite.
What are you talking about? I had the Elite.
Unless I wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, you definitely wrote that down wrong. I definitely said the Elite.
Then if I wrote it down wrong, then we were tied.
Yeah. I said the Elite for that one. You said the Acclaim because you said you want the Acclaim to win because
the momentum. Maybe. I'll go back and check it later. Moving forward in our first Money in the Bank ladder match, it's the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It's Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. I'm going to say right now, I am torn between 2, Chelsea and Tiffany Stratton.
I don't think Tiffany needs it.
That's my pick. That's my pick. I'm going Tiffany Stratton. Tiffy time. Who do you got?
You know what? I want Chelsea Green to win it. Just
that'd be
for
great.
The sole fact.
It would be amazing.
just for the sole fact that we've never had a women's failed cash in, she can like fail cash in and it would be hilarious.
Yes. That's
So
why I
I'm
was like,
going-
I want to see her. But then Tiffany, I think they could do well with. So, yeah.
I mean, they could do well with Tiffany, but at the same time, it's like we've never had a failed women's cash in. I
Right.
think we're ready for one.
True.
So go with Chelsea.
And finally, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, and Drew McIntyre. Now, I already gave my prediction earlier. I think Drew wins, and then Punk screws him on his cash-in. So I'm going McIntyre.
I'm torn between this one as well. 'Cause I feel like, do we really get both winners as a failed cash in though?
I mean, in my prediction, no. My prediction is Drew fails, Tiffany is successful.
You know what? Screw it. I'll go Drew. Why not? Because I don't really see anyone else in this match except for Jay having a successful, like getting the briefcase and doing like a successful one.
You want to know why I don't think it's Jey Uso? Because they're advertising
Why?
this show too much around him. And the whole yeet in the bank, and he's on the poster and all this. Typically, whoever's the most featured, and I could be wrong on this, but I looked it up the other day. Typically, whoever's the most featured going into a Money in the Bank, most of the time doesn't win it.
Right. Like who was featured the most last year? Was it like a lot of people on the poster?
I believe it was. Let me look. Money in the Bank 2023 poster. Poster was... All right, give me the real poster, because I've seen... No, the poster, if I'm thinking correctly here, I'm looking at, it was Seth. Seth was the one featured on the poster. World Heavyweight Champion defending against Finn Balor. So Seth was the one featured, not even someone in Money in the Bank. Because Seth was one featured on the poster, but the Bloodline Civil War was the cover of the DVD.
I think the Bloodline Civil War, that might have been like the main feature, actually.
Probably.
That match should have been 5 stars.
Well, that is everything set for this Saturday's Money in the Bank pay-per-view. It's only Monday as we're recording this, so more could maybe get announced. Triple H likes that 5 to 6 match range. So maybe they add one more match, and if they do, we'll have it for you. Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Now, before we wrap all of this up, check the polls here, see what you guys thought of Monday Night Raw. As far as the Threads poll does go, 57% liked the show, 29% thought it was just all right, and 14% didn't like it. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 17% liked the 75% liked the show, 24% thought it was just all right. Nobody disliked it. That's an interesting one. Looking at the YouTube community poll, 84% liked the show, 13% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. Some of the comments here says, good show. Person just said, yep. Person says, I'm starting to like the Wyatt 6 promos. And then, yeah, not going to read that comment because it's someone that trying to comment on something they didn't watch. How are you going to say, I didn't watch, but I think the show was good? What? And then as far as the YouTube live poll does go, 82% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 2% didn't like it. Finally, everybody that voted on Twitch liked the show. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at Petke_21. And you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll be back here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite Beach Break from a non-beach town of Chicago, Illinois. With that, guys, have a good one, and we'll see you next time.